Welcome back, students. Today we will be starting the new chapter, graphical representation of data. And this explanation video is the first explanation video which is based on mainly the topic bar graph. So students, in this explanation video we are going to learn how to make a bar graph. Also we will be understanding with the help of the given bar graph how to read a bar graph, how to analyze it, how to interpret it and give the question's answer which is given alongside with the bar graph. So students, this is the two main topics, that is how to read a bar graph and how to understand a graph for giving the answers, and then how to make a bar graph. So these two important parts we are going to learn today in this explanation video. Before that, we need to know first what is called bar graph. A bar graph is a pictorial representation of the numerical data of a number of bars of uniform width with different heights, erected horizontally or vertically with equal spacing between them. As you can show alongside in the given screen, this is the standard bar graph. There is one special type of bar graph called double bar graph. Double bar graph is mainly used to compare two different things. In double bar graph, two bars are drawn togetherly so that it can give us a visual representation and reflects the difference between both of the parameters very easily. So students, let us try to find out the answers of the given questions with respect to the given double bar graph. Interpretation of bar graph. As students, you all know that the bar graph is a pictorial representation of any information. So basically the most biggest use of bar graph is to indicate the information visually. So with the help of any bar graph we get certain information which the bar graph wants to reflect. Here in the first exercise we will be solving question number 4. In this question number 4 also you can see a double bar graph is given. In this double bar graph it compares the average number of hours an electrical appliance is used on weekdays and weekends. That means the weekends, which comprises of Saturday and Sunday, we use some electrical appliances in our home, as well as on the weekdays we apply the same electrical appliances. Now here in this bar graph there is a very good comparison between these appliances and the number of hours we use them in weekdays as well as in weekends. So this bar graph gives us the same information, and few questions are also here which we need to find out the answer with the help of this double bar graph. So you can see it is question number 4. Let us solve first Roman numeral 1. As you can see, the first question says which appliance has got the maximum usage. Which appliance has got the maximum usage? That means which electrical appliance is used for the maximum number of hours. As you can see, lights for weekdays it is 12 hours and for weekend it's 16 hours. Refrigerator for both weekdays and weekends it's 24 hours. Computer for weekdays it's 4 hours, and for computer for weekend is 8 hours. Next is AC. It's used for weekdays for 10 hours and for weekend it is used for 16 hours. And the other appliances for weekdays is used for 2 hours and the weekend it is used for 6 hours. So you can see very clearly the appliances which has got the maximum usage is nothing but refrigerator, because the refrigerator is used for 24 hours in the weekend as well as in weekdays, and which is the maximum here. The second question is, which appliance is used twice as many hours as the weekend as it is used in the weekdays? That means in the weekend it is used twice as compared to the weekdays. So it is very clearly understandable that for computer, you can see it is used for weekdays. For weekdays, computer is used for 4 hours, and for weekend it is used for 8 hours. So our answer is computer, because computer is used twice the weekend as it is used in the weekdays. Okay, so computer is used for 8 hours in weekend and 4 hours in weekdays, which is twice here. The next question is 3 number. You can see, what is the average number of hours an AC is used on weekend? So you can see in weekend the air conditioner is used. On weekend the air conditioner is used for 16 hours. So our answer is 16 hours, because you can see the unshaded bar represents the weekend and the shaded bar represents the weekdays. So we will be seeing here the unshaded bar, as because we are asked to find it for the weekend. So it's 16 hours. The last question for this question is, which appliance are each used for 6 more hours on a day on weekends than on weekday? So you can see just by visual appearance, you can see here and find out the answer. Let us find it for lights and AC. As you can see, for lights, for weekdays it is used for 12 hours, and for weekend it is used for 16 hours. Okay, so not 16 hours, it is 18 hours. So you can see for weekdays it is used for 12 hours, and for weekend it is used for 18 hours. And let us see for refrigerator we don't have to see, because for both weekends and weekdays it is used for 24 hours only. Okay, so now we can check it for computer we cannot be the answer, as because the difference is only 4 hours. So let us see for AC. For AC we have, for weekdays AC is used for 10 hours, and for weekend AC is used for 16 hours. So students, our answer will be lights and AC, because in both the cases you can see the difference between number of hours used in weekdays and weekend is 6 hours, and here also it is 6 hours. So in both the cases it is 6 hours. So you can see for lights and AC the difference between the usage of hours in weekdays and weekend is 6 hours. So our answer will be AC and lights, as because the question says the same, that which electrical appliance is used for 6 more hours in weekend than compared to the weekdays. Hence our answer will be lights and AC. So students, here we have solved this double bar graph. The double bar graph is given alongside here, you can see in the screen, and one by one we have taken the help of this double bar graph visual representation, and then we have solved the given questions in this exercise. So basically students, in this way the bar graph can be used to find out the answer. Let us now come to the second part of the explanation video, that is how to draw a bar graph. Students, as you have seen the question in the screen, I repeat the question once again before we start the construction of the bar graph. The question says that the table is there in the question which shows the number of students in a school playing 5 different kinds of games. Those games are football, hockey, cricket, tennis and squash. And the number of students who play these games, respective games, are also given here. So we are asked to represent this information in a bar graph. So students, the first thing which you need to do is to prepare the x and y axis of the bar graph. Okay, so you can see here the way we will be preparing this. We will be leaving near about 2 lines to draw the vertical axis, that is the y axis. Okay, in this way we will be leaving beside the 2 boxes. So this is our y axis, and then we will be drawing the horizontal axis, which is the x axis. So this is the x axis, so we will write here x. This is the y axis, so we will write here, sorry, this is the negative x axis, so we will write here x dash. This one is the y axis, so we will write y, and downwards it is the negative y axis, so we will write here y dash. Okay, so we have here 2 parameters. Those 2 parameters are games and number of students. So we will be selecting the y axis for the number of students and the x axis for games. Okay, now you can see the maximum number of students is here 250 who likes to play cricket. So we have to make this graph first by looking at the maximum number, so that we can easily locate up to the maximum number. So for our convenience, we have to choose the scale of this axis. Let us choose the scale of the axis as 1 unit is equals to, let us take it as 25. So this will be 25, this will be 50, 75, 100. So students, if we take 100, it will be little bit hectic. So let us take here, let us take, instead of this, let us take 25 little bit downwards. So let this will be 25. So this will be how much? 50, then 75, then 100, then 125, 150, 175, 200, 225, 250. Let us take one more, 275. Okay, let us take one more as we have space, 300. So this is nothing but the number of students. So we will put an arrow mark here like this, and we will write here number of students. Okay, and here we will again put an arrow mark here little bit downwards, so that we have enough space to write, and then we will write here games. Don't forget to put here 0, as because this is the origin. The point of intersection of the 2 axes is called the origin. Okay, now this is the first thing which we need to do. I repeat once again. First we will be drawing the x-axis and y-axis, and then we will be choosing the appropriate scale for the graph. Appropriate scale. In order to choose the appropriate scale, we have to look upon the maximum value of the graph. And here we see that the maximum value is 250 for cricket. So our convenient scale would be 25 number of students for each unit, that is for each box. And thus we have constructed, we have made the graph in this way. Now the next step is the most important step. That is, now we will be making the bars representing this information. So the first is football, which is equals to 200. So we will be leaving one box here. Okay, after leaving one box, we will be making the next one. So it is equals to 200. So we will be taking like this. Okay, we will write here football. Okay, next is hockey, which is equals to 175. Since this is a bar graph, students, remember that there should be an equal space between each and every bar, and all the bar should be of equal width. Okay, so our next is hockey, which is equals to 175. As we have left here one box, so we will be leaving again one box, and then we will be drawing the next bar, and that is equals to 175. So it will be like this. Okay, and then we will be writing here as hockey. Our next is cricket, which is equals to 250. Similarly, we will leave again one box, and then we will be drawing the bar for cricket, which is equals to 250. So it will be like this, as you can see in the bar graph. This is cricket. So we will write here CRICKET. After cricket it is tennis, which is equals to 75. Again leave one box and draw the next bar equal to 75 as shown here. So this is tennis. So we will write here TENNIS. And the last bar is for squash, which is equals to 50. So we will be leaving again one box and drawing the next bar, which is equal to 50. Okay, so this is the last bar, which represents the games of squash. Okay, so students, you can write here 200 as it is up to 200, then you can write 175, then you can write 250, then you can write 75, and the last you can write 50. Now what we will do, we will now just put a shade on this bar. Like you can use the help of scale to do, as because I am habituated to do with my hand itself without the help of any scale. So we can do it directly also, but it should be very appropriate and should look nice as well. Okay, next is for hockey. Next is for cricket. Second last is for tennis. This is a short bar, so it will be done very fastly. And the last is for squash. So you can see your bar graph is looking appropriate. Students, I would like to say some points to you regarding drawing the bar graph, so that you don't do any kinds of mistakes. Point number 1 is there should be, as you can see here also, you can see there should be equal gap between every bar. Okay, the gap should not be different. The second point is the width of every bar should also be equal. Okay, it should not be like your few of your bars are very thin and the other bars are thick. It should not be like, whatever the width of the bar is, it should be same for all. The next is the distance, that is, suppose if you are giving 25 to the first box, second it should be 50, then 75. That means this number should increase uniformly. Okay, and the next point is to remember is that you can also use constriction in the bar. For example, suppose if you think like you want to jump from 0 to directly 75, and then uniformly you will be increasing by 25, like 0 to 75. I can put here 75, then if I want to put here 80, 85, okay, then 90. So students, you see here for every box I'm increasing 5. So how it can be from 0 to 85 I can write here for the same box. So in that kind of situation you will be using a mark of constriction like this. Okay, that constriction you can use, but that depends upon the question. All questions are not like using the constriction. If you think like you can simply make the bar graph without the constriction, well and fine, you can do that. But if you think like using of constriction is important here for your convenience, then also you can do that. Okay, so it's not compulsory that you have to use the constriction. So students, these are the few points which you need to keep in your mind. You should also keep in mind that you should always write what is the y-axis representing, as I have written here, number of students. You should also write what the x-axis is representing, as I have written here, games, and then proper marking should be there. And one more thing students that you can do here is to write here that you can see for the 10 small scale division you have 25 students. So we can write here 10 small scale divisions is equals to 25 students. Okay, as you can see, one complete box has total 10 small divisions, and that is representing 25 students. So this thing also need to be mentioned in the bar graph. Okay, so students, in this way you can make any bar graph. One thing I would like to add here, that you may come across the double bar graph as well. Okay, so for double bar graph it's very simple. Actually double bar graph is mainly used to compare two different things in a same bar graph. Okay, so for that type of bar graph, what you will do, you will be making 2 bar at a time. Okay, like you can see, I have made here single bar. After giving equal gaps, I will be making 2 bars togetherly, and then equal gaps will be there. The first bar will representing the first parameter, and the second bar will represent the second parameter. Okay, and then one more thing, when you will be giving the shade should be different for both the bars. Okay, for example, if the first bar is indicating the number of boys, and the second bar if it is indicating the number of girls, for all the bars representing the number of boys, the shade should be same, and for all the bars representing the number of girls, the shade should be same, so that just by looking upon the bar graph, it should be very clearly understandable the difference between these two parameters. Okay, so this is the main motto of the bar graph, is to have a very easy understanding and easy visual understanding along with understanding of the difference between these two parameters. We draw the bar graph. So students, this is all for the bar graph. I hope that you have understood this bar graph very nicely, and now you can easily construct the other bar graphs from your exercise also very easily. So students, with this hope, I end up my video here. Thank you.